The PlayStation 4 and 5 versions of the demo will be available after this showcase finishes.
What's up, Beans? Welcome back to another episode of Ctrl-Alt-Fight, the ideal place to catch up on a whole week of news, and the rumors were true. Brook is working on a PS5 controller adapter, SOCD firmware issues frighten the cheatbox community, Flowchart Ken returns, but this time he's Tekken, OGs cry about Kami's music not being the same as it was 30 years ago, Smash players surprise us with some questionable rules, and today's top story, Street Fighter 6 is playable right now. Let's jump straight in with the breaking news that the Street Fighter 6 demo is now available on PS4 and PS5 and next week on all other platforms. The announcement was made during today's special showcase, which gave us a pretty detailed look at the single player features which go way beyond anything we've ever seen in a fighting game. Seeing this much attention being given to custom characters which you can actually use online in special avatar battles is really good to see, since other genres have really used cosmetic-based customizations to make their games profitable while preventing the game from becoming pay to win. Hate losing? Street Fighter 6 is introducing a rank down protection feature which applies to lower ranks. This should help to lighten the blow of defeat when you're still learning how to play the game competently online, gradually introducing the aspect of putting your league points on the line only as you reach the higher ranks. If you suck, you're still gonna lose and have no one to blame but yourself though. So thankfully that aspect of Street Fighter hasn't completely changed. If you hate all the characters in the base roster, then fear not, as new and returning favorites have now been confirmed for Season 1 as DLC characters. Leading the charge this summer is Rashid, who you'll certainly remember from Capcom Cup when Gachikun won in 2018. In autumn we have a brand new character, Aki, who, judging from the punctuation, I'm assuming has some relation to Fang, who was introduced in Street Fighter 5. Then it appears that Capcom will be taking it slow, as we only know of 2 more characters being released in 2024, with Akuma coming in spring next year and Ed, who won't arrive until the end of 2024. Depending on the momentum that Street Fighter 6 has, this might well be a good thing for the meta, but if previous fighting game releases are anything to go by, then this slow rate of DLC could cause a faster drop-off in player interest. We shall see how much the Capcom Pro Tour tournament circuit and other aspects of the game keep the hype going. If Capcom's gradual rollout of DLC is too slow for you though, you are in luck, because according to the Microsoft Store, Street Fighter 6 will be downloadable in separate parts anyway, so maybe just pace yourself with content by downloading it piece by piece. Even if the game release isn't enough to quench your thirst for Street Fighter action, you can throw away some cash on these gorgeous high ground collaboration keyboards. Seeing fighting games really take care to exist in a wide variety of scenes outside the base game is a positive development for sure. Whether it's gaming accessories, clothing, events, or music, Capcom is clearly making sure that the launch of Street Fighter 6 reaches every aspect of social media. And your wallet. PS5 may be one of the best places to enjoy Street Fighter 6, but many of us still don't have a controller that's natively compatible. Not everyone wants to mod the PCB in every controller they own, not to mention the cost of doing it, so I'm really excited to see that Brook is planning to release a USB converter which we can easily use to make our legacy controllers compatible with PS5. The device will be called the Wingman FGC, but the website is still just a placeholder image. Tim posted on Twitter the pre-production unit claiming that it will work for Street Fighter 6, Guilty Gear, King of Fighters 15, Tekken 7, and more on PS5. Speaking of natively compatible arcade sticks, the new Qanba line continues to land in the hands of fighting gamers and influencers. According to Yas on Twitter, the Drone 2 uses a Qanba lever like the previous drone, but it appears the design is closer than ever to the industry standard Sanwa JLF. Even the gate and PCB from a Sanwa will slide on without issue. Looks like low-cost modding just got cheaper and easier for fans of the drone form factor. New games and new controllers may well be exciting news, but are fighting games still unpopular? Time for this week's OMG, a hit tweet. 13,000 likes and almost 1 million views, Giuna's list of reasons why fighting games are not popular has been drawing significant attention. The first red flag, of course, is that it's a Giuna tweet, so the chances that it's a bait of some kind is like 99.999%. Oh, okay, there it is, posted merely 3 minutes after the initial tweet. Giuna said that he was actually talking about Valorant. Likelihood that any of the million people who read the tweet realized this, however, is slim to none. Giuna has a real talent for clever tricks like this, and indeed, while fighting games are less popular when compared to genres like FPS games, the 6 reasons listed here are constantly regurgitated as if it's somehow specific to fighting games, which of course they aren't. Number 1. Incredibly unforgiving for new players. Try playing Puyo Puyo online. 2. They do a terrible job of teaching you how to play. You ever play Super Mario on the NES? 3. Execution barrier, fast reflexes required. FPS gamers play at 360 Hz and the mouse they use is custom balanced. 4. Poor single-player content. Is that why no one plays chess? 5. Huge skill gap between casual and pros. Try playing Puyo Puyo online. 6. Greedy DLC practices. No one, I repeat, no one is forcing you to buy all of the season passes for Dead or Alive 6. No one. The takeaway message is this: we love trying to explain why no one likes fighting games, but we don't put much effort into playing other genres, so no surprise when we mistakenly assume we know how to make fighting games better sitting on the couch in our underwear. Speaking of trying other games, this past weekend was Indie Fighting Game Fest. If you're itching for something that breaks the mold, I discovered during my own stream that some of the indie fighting games out there are a serious breath of fresh air, like this turn-based fighter, Mega Knockdown, which removes the pressure of timing and lets you enjoy the thrill of pure decision-making. Pros and casual players alike are reporting some issues with the new firmware for their leverless controllers. The bug, which potentially affects most leverless controllers out there, is causing standing neutral inputs even when the players are simply crouch blocking, which doesn't involve pressing opposing cardinal directions at the same time. Looks like Gachi-kun is now bug testing with Brook, so hopefully the issue is fixed before Capcom Pro Tour begins. Wouldn't want to miss out on that cool $1 million because of a controller issue. A close runner-up for OMG a hit tweet is this diagram called All My Tekken Knowledge, which is like Flowchart Ken but turned up to 11. I've got to say, I've been playing Tekken recently because Tekken 8 looks so good, but characters having 100 moves each, the hand gymnastics of Korean backdashing, and now this chart which looks like something you'd make for a PhD in human interface design? Well, I might just go back to BB Tag. Time to rush down the rest of the news. Capcom released Kami's theme music. It's a lot like the rest of the Street Fighter 6 soundtrack, so OGs are crying themselves to sleep about it. Director and programmer on KOF13 retweeted the news about rollback in the re-release, stating that he actually wanted to put GGPO in the original game, but they didn't have time to implement it. Smash players disqualify Smash players for not running headfirst towards their enemy. This VHS player modified to be a fighting game controller provides for the greatest pop-off of all time. Street Fighter 6 is now ramen. And take a look at this if you ever wanted to know what $60,000 in unwanted arcade cabinets looks like. Yeah, it's hard to believe how different the concept of the arcade has become over the years. Still, in Japan, at least arcades still exist. Anyway, that's all for this week. Posting this a couple days late so I could include the Street Fighter 6 news from the showcase this morning. It's a crazy exciting time for fighting games, and this is only the beginning. A new Street Fighter game is often the start of a whole new generation of fighting games and fighting gamers, so what are you waiting for? Download the Street Fighter 6 demo and get started right now. Sub if you loved it, comment on your favorite story of the day, and hey, why not check out this video next? That's all I've got time for. I've been Nihongo Gamer, and I'll see you next week for another episode of Ctrl-Alt-Fight.